Today, we're diving into a story about the hunt for the perfect partner. Now, it's a classic, timeless tale, but its warning, about the danger of chasing some impossible ideal at the expense of actual happiness, well, that feels more relevant than ever.
It's a question we all face at some point, right? Whether it's in love, your career, or any big life decision. Is holding out for the absolute 100% perfect choice actually making us miss out on something that's really, truly good? So, let's keep that thought rattling around as we meet our protagonist.
So, our story kicks off with a butterfly on a mission, and his quest to find the perfect bride among the flowers. Sounds simple enough, doesn't it? But as you're about to see, his, let's call it a very particular approach, is going to make things way more complicated. Right from the get-go, you can tell his standards are sky high. He's not just looking for a companion. Nope, he wants a very pretty one. And that one little requirement, oh yeah, that's going to set the course for his entire journey.
Okay, so picture this. It's early spring, everything's hopeful, and our butterfly starts his big search. He's got a whole field of possibilities right in front of him, and he starts evaluating his first potential matches with an extremely critical eye.
First up are the crocus and the snowdrop. The earliest flowers of the season. They're fresh, they're new, they're beautiful. On paper, these seem like a total slam dunk, the very picture of youthful charm.
And here's where the pattern starts to emerge. He finds a flaw. Yeah, they're charming, sure, but they're rather formal. And just like that, it's his first rejection. And trust me, it is not his last. You get the feeling he's not really looking for what's right, he's looking for a reason to say no. And man, does that list of excuses get long. One after another, the flowers get dismissed for the tiniest things. The anemones are too sour, the violets too sentimental. It's this classic analysis paralysis, Nobody is quite perfect. In his mind, every single one of them has some kind of deal breaker. But then he meets the pea-blossom, and she seems different. She is checking all the boxes. She's beautiful, graceful, even comes from a domestic and useful family. This might actually be it. She seems to be the perfect one he's been holding out for. And this is the moment it all goes sideways. He's literally on the verge of proposing, but then he glances over and sees her sister, a withered up flower on a pod. And suddenly it's like a switch flips. He's not seeing the gorgeous pea-blossom anymore. All he can see is this scary glimpse into the future. And he is absolutely horrified. The fear of what might happen someday, the fear of aging and imperfection, it just completely wipes out any chance of happiness right here, right now. So he just takes off. Flies away, totally shocked.
And just like that, the opportunity is gone. That hesitation, it had a cost. Spring passes, summer starts to fade, and before he can even blink, it's autumn. Time, as you know, doesn't really wait around for anyone to make up their mind.
So now his problem is becoming crystal clear. He started in the spring with this huge field of young, vibrant options. But because he just couldn't pull the trigger by the time fall rolls around, his choices have, they've thinned out quite a bit. And the ones that are left are just different.
And this is the real kicker. The autumn flowers, they're still beautiful, absolutely gorgeous in their own way, but they're missing that one thing he suddenly realizes he craves, that fresh, fragrant air of youth. Isn't that just tragically ironic? He spent all spring rejecting young flowers for tiny flaws, and now that very youth is the only thing he wants.
So his standards have had to change out of sheer necessity. He makes one last, desperate attempt to find a companion, turning to a plant he would have flown right past in his prime, the humble mint.
Now the mint is interesting. She doesn't have a big, showy blossom, the exact thing he thought he wanted. But what she does have is something else entirely, a kind of deep, lasting fragrance. She's got substance, real character, not just that fleeting beauty he was chasing.
So he proposes, but oh, how the tables have turned. The mint, you see, has wisdom, she has self-respect, and she gently but firmly turns him down. Friendship, she says, but nothing more. She knows that at their age, it would just look ridiculous. She has his quiet dignity that, frankly, he's been missing this whole time.
And the result is simple and pretty brutal. He was too picky. He waited way too long for a perfection that was never going to exist. And now, he's all alone. His constant indecision led him straight to isolation.
Which brings us to the final chapter for our Bachelor butterfly. His epic, long search for the perfect connection is about to end, and believe me, it's in the most tragic and ironic way you could possibly imagine.
He gets trapped inside a warm room as it gets cold outside, and it's in that moment that it finally hits him. He finally gets what he really wanted all along. It wasn't just about being alive. It was about freedom, sunshine, and having a little flower for a companion, the very things he threw away while he was busy looking for perfect.
So in one last desperate move, trying to get to the sun and the freedom he's craving, he flies right into a window pane, a barrier he just doesn't understand. And that one single move seals his fate.
And that's how the journey ends. He's admired for a moment, for his beauty. Then he's caught. He's pinned. And he's put in a box. He becomes this static object, a curiosity, the total opposite of the free, flying life he was supposed to have.
And his final thought, man, it's the most devastating piece of irony in the whole story. He actually finds a weird sort of comfort in being pinned down. He thinks, this must be what being married is like, being stuck fast. Just think about that. In trying so hard to avoid being stuck with someone who wasn't perfect, he ended up literally stuck forever.
And that brings us right back to where we started. The butterfly's story is really a warning, isn't it? A cautionary tale about what happens when we get paralyzed by perfectionism. So it really makes you think, what perfect flower are you waiting for? And more importantly, what beautiful, real, and perfectly good opportunities might be fluttering by while you wait?